warrior.
DJ Richie Rich. What it do?
What up?
What up, man?
Kevin, you got me?
Yeah, I see you.
Man. Rich.
What's up?
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you talk a second ago, so I want to make sure I was hearing you. I kind of have my mic, like, I don't know, a little bit further away from me. Do I sound all right?
You sound fine. The one thing I will say,
Yeah.
When you get really excited, you'll jump up to your mic, and that makes you loud.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just a heads up on that.
So that probably messes with our volumes.
A little bit, yeah, and it's fine. I have a mixer I'm gonna run it through, but that means it won't drop till tomorrow sometime because I have to give the mixer time to level out the audio. But
I'll try not to get
it'll
excited.
only do so much. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Cool.
Ready to go.
Sure.
All right.
We ready to go.
Ready to go. Oh, we'll let Jared drop in.
Here comes Jay Money.
Jay Payton.
All
For
right.
3.
What up,
Oh,
man?
Look at this. Look at this.
JP3.
Okay.
Got a little high noon. Let's go.
High
Hey,
noon.
man. Jared, I wanted to ask you how many of these glasses you got from working at Arby's?
Bro,
Those Coach glasses?
I have like all of the sets from the time.
Yeah, I got about 3 of these bad boys. I've even like hashtag Ryan Kelly in a post before.
We're gonna roll. You guys ready?
All right, here we go.
Get out of here, honky.
Now for something completely different.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin. Yeehaw!
I just crapped my pants.
All right, it is November 4th. Kevin looking like a Jedi.
Hey man, I'm sitting there dying laughing because I know this is gonna be a good one. Hey, tell me you guys don't feel that same energy though.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do.
I literally just made a fire outside right before this. Whoa. I don't know what that was.
That was the
Probably some
fire.
ghost in
Your
my
house burning down.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. But like I was just sitting there and I was just thinking, I was like, am I in a movie? Like, is it? I mean, seriously, it just everything. Because this is going to get stretched out so long, with forever, man. With Trump suing and the whole ballot counting and all this stuff, it is going, dude. What did Kevin say the other day? He goes, I just don't want an interim president.
Yeah, I don't
right?
want no interim belt, man.
Conor McGregor's gonna
Yeah.
come in, just
Yeah.
be president for 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, man. So let me ask you this: where's everyone's thoughts? Like, how do you feel? Like, I mean, so I guess we should say, as of now, as of now, both men have declared that they are the president.
No,
Right?
Biden hasn't declared
No.
anything.
Yeah, Biden hadn't.
But he came out and gave a speech alluding to it, right?
Not really.
I
Nah,
listened
he
to
was
something.
just basically saying, thanks for the support.
He
Hey,
said, "I'm
we
glad
in
He
where
said,
we're
he
at."
said he's confident.
He said he's confident
Yeah,
and he's
okay.
happy with where he's at. But at the end of the day, it's the voters that are going to decide.
Right.
That's
And-
what he said.
And Trump has kind of done the same thing.
Oh no, Trump said I won.
Now Trump said he's the real world champion. Dude.
Yeah, he
said-
did.
he
Of
said,
course
"I'm the
he
real world
did.
champion."
said,
It's my belt.
Yeah.
"You're gonna have to come and take it. Come fight me,
Yeah.
Biden."
It's so
Right.
true. It's like
Said
the
you gotta
stupidest
beat the
question.
champ. You can't win by decision.
That's right. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ, homie.
Oh,
Have you,
gosh.
you guys have
It's
seen
such
you
a-
guys have seen the clip with Bernie Sanders
Yeah,
where he's on Jimmy
Uh-huh.
Fallon.
yeah. He
And he's
called
like-
it. He called it.
He goes, this is exactly what's gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. At 10 o'clock, Trump's gonna come out and say he won the thing.
Yep.
And then overnight, the vote's gonna change and it's gonna turn into a mess.
And he's gonna sue. Yep,
Yeah.
he's gonna
exactly what
sue.
happened.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then,
exactly
and then
what
Bernie
happened.
Sanders is gonna bring the money in the bank briefcase.
Feel the burn.
I mean,
That's
like, I
me.
mean,
Birdie with the steel chair.
that's crazy that he predicted it like that.
Well,
That I mean,
yeah.
good.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, I think everybody pretty much well knows. Trump's personality, win or lose. That's quite honestly, that's who people voted for 4 years ago. They voted for the personality. Like it was,
Right.
just the brash. People in general were tired of the politics,
he-
and they wanted that's just what they wanted. That's what you got. So yeah, that's totally expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I mean, so I'll tell you real quick. So yesterday was our anniversary, right? And I hadn't voted yet. I got off work or whatever, so I was driving to vote. And honestly, like I kind of even got a little bit more quiet on our text messages because like I was just done with it. Like I was actually just mad at like actually the last debate just kind of. I was just like, I'm done. Like, what are we doing? Like, they're not telling me anything. Like, all they're doing is talking about COVID, talking about a computer, talking about taxes, talking about fraud. Now, some of those things, I mean, like the fraud situations are I felt like that was kind of important stuff, but anyways, like I was just irritated with it. So I was driving and I was just like, I'm not gonna vote. Like I'm just, like everybody, my whole family, everybody, all my friends tell me I have to vote, and I was literally talking, on the phone with Nika because we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do for the evening, because she already voted. And so anyways, I literally drove home, and then because I went by the church where I was supposed to vote, and they were wrapped around the building, and it was like 5:15. Like, and I was on the phone with Nika. I was like, listen, it's our anniversary. I'm not spending 2 hours in line to vote when I'm over this. you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so she said, well, go to Mary Bryant and just see if you can register or see if you can vote there. So I walk right in. There's no line at all. And I go to check in. They take my ID or whatever, and I don't come up in their system. And I was just like, okay. And they were like, are you in Marion County? I was like, yeah. And they're like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. Text Nika. I was like, we're Marion County, right? And she's like, yeah. And so then I had to go to another lady to talk to them. And then they had to call someone to find out that I was in Johnson County. Ooh. So I was still somehow, my license is, I must have never registered at my new address.
Right.
And then, And once I kind of got to that point, I do kind of remember when I voted because I kept thinking, like, I know I registered because I voted last time. Like, so I know I voted, but then I started to remember where I voted, and it was in Johnson County. So anyways, long story short, by that time it was 5:45, and I wasn't going to, and it closes at 6. So I wasn't going to have time. So I went through all that mess and I didn't even get to vote. So there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
But it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, Trump destroyed in Indiana.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, we were the first state to be claimed.
We were like the
I had a
second
friend
state.
who was in line at like 6:30 or 6:45 waiting because they got there late. And her husband texted her and said, they've already declared Indiana. You can go home and you don't need to vote. And she's like, well, there are other things on the ballot, school board, state representative, and those things that I'm going to stay and vote.
Yeah. So there you go. So that was my experience with it. But so I actually tried to vote, even though I really wasn't in the mood, and then never did. So now I know I need to register.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So how
you can do that online, though. So that's easy.
She gave me a number to call, but I'll try to do that online. So how late did you guys stay up watching it?
I stayed up until like 12:30.
I stayed up to about 2.
11-ish. 2.
2.
Wow.
2.
Yeah, I just knew we weren't going to get a result, so I was just like, I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it, and whatever changes in the middle of the night. But you could tell who didn't go to sleep or got very little sleep was like all these reporters, because like the same people that were on when I fell asleep were on like the morning news shows, and I'm going, I get it, it's your job, like, wow. But like I saw a clip of Anderson Cooper like stuttering over his words and like, like multiple times. I saw other ones where these people like they looked like they got about exactly 3 hours of sleep, in a bed in a closet somewhere on the set.
Funny.
Exactly. That's probably what they're living in.
I felt like last night, like I was just kind of waiting for a ball to drop, like, because I felt like we were 1 or 2 states away last night from just kind of not knowing 100%, but having a really good idea of who was going to win. Like, we weren't going to call it last night, but I felt like we were this close to being like, okay, I think this or this, because that's kind of the way it was going that night. Was, mainly Michigan. I was waiting for Michigan or Wisconsin to drop. Because I felt like if one of those dropped, I was like, well, that's probably the way it's going to go. I'm going to go to bed now.
I was literally just going off your text messages. Like, he kept changing.
Sorry.
Like, Biden's going to win. Oh, Trump's going to win. Biden's got it wrapped up. Nope, Trump's got it wrapped up. I was like, dude,
I'm so excited, dude. It's like, I was more excited about that than the NBA Finals. Like, I was like, man, this is every 4 years, man. I'm so pumped over this. I don't even care who wins in the end. Like, honestly, like, I voted, but it doesn't bother me who wins. I guess I'm just so excited. And then the other thing that excites me is to see the people cry. Like those are like it's like the main event is like the day after, like just seeing
It's the
tears.
reaction of everybody
I don't
else.
care who's crying. I just want to see someone cry. Like it's so funny.
That people take it that far.
They take it that like
Yeah, people take it that serious, like they know the
They-
person.
there's a guy that sits across from me. He's a younger gentleman, and I was kind of surprised. He's a Republican. He's a young man in his mid-20s, and he's a Republican. And when I told him that it looked like Biden won Michigan, his whole demeanor changed. And I said, "Look, dude, we've had 45 presidents. We're still here. You'll be fine, dude. Don't worry. You'll be all
Yeah.
right. I know you're young, but we've it'll be okay." So and he was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
Because
Hey,
nothing.
do you think this is how women feel when they see us like so into sports teams and stuff like this? Like, 'cause this is how I'm kind of like, that's how I'm kind of comparing it to. It's like,
He's like,
I mean,
this is
that's
probably
what
how I
it
act
is.
when I'm this is how Blake probably acts when IU is losing or something like that.
Yeah, for real. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like you warming up with them and you practice with them or something. Like, so
I know.
that's
Yeah,
how people
like
are
you were on the
reacting.
campaign
yeah.
trail. Like, yeah.
But
Right.
but I think it just shows you though that like anything that you get into, it's just you can easily become consumed with it and overwhelmed with it. And then when especially when it's something like this, when it's just like you believe so wholeheartedly one way,
Yeah.
and you can't even fathom how somebody else could think different. Like especially the thing with abortion, like that's the one that just everyone's just like, if you're for it, if you're against it, like you can't even fathom the thought, right?
Yeah. But
Go ahead.
you know Biden's anti-abortion, right? You understand this.
I mean, I don't, I guess,
Okay,
but
yeah.
I mean, it always comes with the territory of a Democrat. It seems like
That's the whole
That and
point.
taxes.
Is like people are of the opinion that just because someone is in one party, they agree wholeheartedly with that party. Biden was a Democrat in the time where it was okay to have certain beliefs in other, on one side, and still carry others. Like he was in that time where it was okay to be kind of moderate, but then be a Democrat. So So he's Catholic. He's anti-abortion. He spoke out against abortion in the 70s. Like he's, it's not
He's still from that time when you're not this far over.
right, and that's
Yeah.
that's
but
what
that's
AO
him. That's him. How about his influencers? How about those under him that are basically going to be controlling this?
They're not. They're
'Cause
not.
I don't.
No, he specifically said, "I'm the Democratic Party," and that's what people have to understand. He got put in there by the Democratic Party. Like he's like, let's be honest about this. The Democratic Party put him in. There was no real election. I mean, this is how the Democrat.
Correct.
This is how that party does it, and that's fine. With how they do their primary election. The weird thing where if you're one person, your vote counts 8 times, and if you're another person, your vote counts once. Like that's just kind of weird how they do all that. So the Democrats put him in power. So I mean, just because you see 4 or 5 people of the Democratic Party flaunting this one idea, it doesn't mean the whole party agrees with that.
Right.
And then the problem with the country is we have 2 parties, right? And in each party you have your extremists, and somehow those extremists everybody just has a thought that whoever those extremists are, well, that's the whole party. But that's not
Right.
true. And even AOC has come out and said there needs to be more parties because I'm not Democrat. So it's just
Right.
in order to win, you have to run as Republican or Democrat.
Or Democrat.
It's that
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think there's always going to be that corruption. Like I mean, even with this whole election, just like the stuff that was covered up and the stuff that just like you can just, to me, I was just so irritated with like the narrative. Like everything had to be about like, I mean, it like to me it got portrayed. If you were voting for Trump, you're a racist.
I think.
Yeah.
I think
was
you're right.
look,
Yeah.
Kevin, I mean, that was the narrative.
Yeah.
Right. And that
Yeah.
like that's how Biden won.
Mm-hmm. No,
and that's so dirty.
No.
Dude, I really think it is. I mean, that's all he
No.
pushed. That's all he pushed.
no, I don't think that's how he won. I
And-
mean,
and the
I think that's
pandemic
part of the
thing.
narrative. I mean, but even when Trump originally ran, it was that way too. It's not like the Republican Party has slowly been, people have slowly, and this is something I talked about with my friends 8 years ago, was that all you need to do to win an election is either A, claim someone is a racist, or claim they don't like gays, and you've won the election. If you can convince,
Because it's bottom line. It's one of those things that you can say, and no matter how many times a person
yeah,
says, I'm not that. No, you are. You get
You-
what I'm
you've
saying?
just been
Like,
labeled
it's
it.
one of those hard things to kind of like get out of it. Not only that, like Trump added fuel to the fire. Like,
Mhm.
if somebody would have came out and said Trump's racist, and he just said, "No, I'm not," I think it would have been cooler than him saying like Proud Boy stuff and all this other BS. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
but,
he
I
could
mean,
have added fuel to the fire.
But here's my thing, and I said this months ago. Like, I feel like we have cheapened what a racist is, right? Like, he's hired black people. Like, I mean, there are, people said that he's done a lot for the black community. He's done stuff for peace agreements and all this stuff with other countries. Apparently, like a lot of the Mexicans, I guess that demographic voted for
They
him.
love
which they
him.
were. So
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah,
weird.
they
so
love
it's
him.
like,
they love
Yeah,
him
yeah.
because they're scared
Yeah, I
of
saw that
socialism.
this morning.
That's what it boils down to, is because what the Republicans do kind of the same thing that the Democrats do in terms of racism. The Republicans will tell the Cubans and the Mexicans that the other party is full of socialists. Well, where did those people escape from?
Right.
Socialism. So there's no way they're going to vote for Democrats. So it's the same game being played. That's why they're winning that group.
Did speaking of that, I heard that did Trump win Florida
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did because
Yes.
because of that?
Because
That-
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a mixture between that and the retirees and the panhandle. I mean, that's really
Yeah,
what it
right.
boils down to. Is you have the Cuban community down south in Miami-Dade and all that and that area, but then you get it gets kind of close. The election's kind of close, but then when the panhandle closes, that's when all the retirees get to vote. So that's kind of
Right.
what lifts you. They've said a Republican president has never won an election without winning Florida.
Wow.
That's why
see that,
Florida
yeah.
is so important.
It holds a lot of electoral votes though too.
Is it 29 or something?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you
But-
you think states are so divided then? Like, what makes one? Like ours. I feel like Indiana's always kind of been, it's obviously known as a Republican state.
Well, I mean, most states have like these big metropolitan areas in the suburbs. Like, it was cool to watch CNN and Fox explain this stuff because, like, basically, some of the stuff Biden's winning, he's not winning the whole state. He's winning like the metro area and the suburbs surrounding it.
Yeah.
And they
Basically,
put
so
more
in
value.
those
and they put
areas,
more
you got
value on that.
well, in those areas, you got a younger demographic, and so those people are following something different. But I mean, there's just more votes there though too, than the
Right.
county areas and all that.
So
Yeah.
just go ahead, Richard.
I was gonna say that's why the electoral college is so important. Is because unless you want L.A. and New York City to decide every single election, you pretty much will need to have that electorate college. If you're just gonna go off a pure popular vote, the last election that's what people were trying to get going. But that kind of explains also to Kevin's point is just the pure density of people that live in those areas. That's really what it boils down to, and and
Right.
also those places take longer to count because of that.
Right.
So that's kind of why you see the swinging in Michigan and Wisconsin because they were still counting Milwaukee and Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Right.
why those states kind of swung overnight and then early morning.
Well, and that's what I was.
And
Go ahead, Kevin. Did you say something?
go ahead with yours
Well-
first. Mine could be long.
Okay, mine could too, actually. Well, because you mentioned the Detroit thing, because that's where some of the controversy I've seen is how, like, when we went to bed, Trump was up like 400,000, and then like overnight, it was just like they found all these ballots or whatever, and then the numbers completely changed. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys think or even heard about with it, because there is, no matter what side you're on, I do think the ballot thing is kind of crazy, because, and I think that's from what I heard from that Rudy, whatever his name is, Giuliani. I watched a little thing about him because I saw that they were going to sue, and he said that both parties were supposed to oversee the ballots, and their point was that we didn't see any of these ballots. We literally have no idea what came in and now there's footage of like the way that it was going through, how the ballots were getting checked in, and there's real light security. And then they went behind this glass wall, and then they put up. Did you guys see that? They put up poster boards so nobody could see in.
Yeah, just do a recount. Just do a recount. That's fine. Yeah,
really.
I mean, I'm for a recount. Dude, if you want to do a recount, make sure people are watching. Do the recount. Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean everyone has to go out to the polls again, right?
No, they just take the ballots and recount them. That's all they do. I mean, you're gonna probably push your decision back a week.
Well, trust me. They would love that.
Oh yeah, the new.
They would love for us. I mean, we got nothing else going on,
I do. I got an Xbox.
That would probably push more people to revote, though, too.
What'd you say, Kevin?
That push people to go out and vote. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do a recount, why can't I go vote again?
Oh yeah, I don't think. I mean, they're not gonna do that. I mean,
could you imagine if they made us do it again? Oh my gosh! What if it just
Trump would win by a landslide?
Jared, how does that work? Jared, how does that work? So like, Blake's talking about some people are supposed to oversee. Like, who's supposed to oversee? I thought it just all went to, the mail-in ballots, basically. Like, go to some place, right?
Yeah. So basically, like, having worked the polls before, you take the machines from your physical location, any paperwork that you've had to fill out during the voting process, and you take it to the headquarters. For where I did it, it was at the Hamilton County Municipal Building, downtown Noblesville, and you drop it off to the election board, and then they take control of it. There's sheriffs there, there's independent observers, and then there's also observers of people from each party, so that it's, made fair in their eyes. And that's kind of some of the things that I think Trump is kind of touting that didn't happen, is that they weren't allowed to watch some of these counts of all these votes, or where they were being brought in from, or, some things like that. So that part. So I think it is, anytime an election is within 0.05%, there's an automatic recount, and some states it's 0.1% of a difference in the vote, then there's an automatic recount. So that's kind of what determines it, or unless somebody sues and then is asking for a recount, which is kind of what's already happening here. So
right.
Interesting.
So
it's gonna get crazy.
Like I'm feeling like this, like with all this philanthropy, I'm feeling like all this
That's
is
a big word, bro.
I'm serious. Like I was thinking about this like today, like are we educated enough as human beings to even vote, to even choose these people in? Like, I know that our cross check is the Electoral College, but I'm just sitting there like, if it was a popular vote, like, we'd be screwed every time. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why the electoral is so important.
Yeah, and I used to think, the Electoral College has some corruptness to it, because I know they can change the vote or what have you, but it's just like, how do we get better from this? Like, I feel like this is just stupid.
Here's how you know the Electoral College vote probably works okay. Look through who has won for a Democrat and a Republican. Okay, it's almost always flipped, right? So you'll have a Republican for 2 years, then a Democrat for 2 years, then a Republican for a year, then a Democrat for a year. Like, I don't remember the last time we've had, not a year, but 4 years or whatever. But I don't remember the last time we've had like a Democrat or Republican win like 4 elections in a row. Like, I've never seen it. I don't recall.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Right. So, like, I feel like that kind of speaks to the electoral college being worth value.
Right, because you do get some kind of change.
Yeah, and that's what you need is you need balance. Like you just can't have a Republican in the office every time, and you can't just have a Democrat in the office every time. I just don't think it's right. Like I don't think you do have to make sure that everybody is spoken for, regardless of your beliefs and what you think. You know, it's only fair that everybody gets, their time. So
Right.
that's why I think the electric. That's why I think it works. I don't think the popular vote is the way to go.
And is anything more guaranteed that even if Biden pulls this out, that he's not going for a second term? He's going to be
He may not
pushing
go for a
80
first
something
term.
years old.
He may not go for a first term. He may go 2 years and be like, "Here you go, I'm done. Like I can't. I'm tired."
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So do you
'Cause,
guys?
I
feel
mean,
com-
I basically told everybody that if you were voting for Biden, you probably were voting for Harris more than Biden.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, like, and it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, Kevin, about like, should we even be voting? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like most of us aren't doing our
I
work,
didn't think we were
our
smart
homework.
enough to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the other strategy, I think, I think I saw it more from the Democrats than the Republicans, was to use celebrities to get these younger people out to just vote. And they just
Yeah.
painted this whole like, I mean, you could just tell that their angle was to just make it sound like Donald Trump was the worst
Oh,
human
come
being.
on, y'all.
in the world.
Donald had
Dude,
Kid
I
Rock.
looked
What
at-
are you doing?
Do what?
Donald
Which
Trump
one
had
you
Kid.
say?
Donald Trump had Kid Rock. Come on.
He had Little Pimp.
Oh,
Lil
yeah, Lil
Pump.
Pimp.
he called him Little Pimp.
50 Cent spoke out for him. Ice Cube spoke out for him. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
literally looked at Kamala's like Instagram and like she literally had like 50, 60 just stars, just like they're doing a Zoom
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
and chatting.
It's
like
it's like
I feel like
it's
that's
a
what
Hollywood
helped push-
thing.
Yeah.
But if anything,
just-
if anything, these two elections have kind of proved that no one, pardon my language, gives a fuck about what they think. Like they just don't. Like unless you live in California, I mean, because Trump still, even this election, even if Trump loses, right? The election was
Mhm.
so much closer than what anybody thought it would be.
Yeah.
At least what you were being
Absolutely.
told, right? Even
Yeah.
the Senate races, like, they were talking about how the Lindsey Graham and McConnell races, the Democrats spent $100 million on each of those races. More money than anything in history was spent on those two races alone.
What are we doing? We got people starving, and we're just
Yeah.
throwing money around.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We're on here just making hate commercials about the other party.
Yeah. So I guess the question is like, what does it take to change? Like, I mean, is this a broken system? I feel like we may have touched on that before, but I mean, like, I don't think all of us should feel this way after, I don't know. Anytime there's two sides, you're going to feel this way, especially in social media era. It's not even social media. It's just even what we do.
Mm-hmm.
A group text is no different than doing social media, right? Because we're just
Right.
constantly talking about it, thinking
Well,
about it.
I think the difference is we kind of actually care about each other's opinions. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's just
actually
hard
kind
to
of care
explain
about what
it
you
out
think.
on
Like, I'm not going on
text.
Facebook going, nah, shut the fuck, I don't care. Like, I kind of actually, I read what you write and I take the time to respond. Like, I
Right,
would never
yeah.
do that on
That-
Facebook.
and that's kind of like I said earlier today. It's like we shouldn't know that much about people and not even actually talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I should know what your political and religious views are, and I don't even physically see you or talk to you. It's just from a post.
I don't even care.
You know, that's kind of weird. That's like fast track. You know?
Well, and what's kind of weird with our age group, the first umpteen years of our life, that's how it was. You didn't talk about
Yep.
politics, and now
Yeah, that's how I was raised.
we're watching it flip, and maybe it's not good. You
No, it's
know?
not good at all. Because
Yeah.
because the whole fact of the matter is too is like after the election and it's all said and done, then what? You know what I'm saying? Where do we go from there? Like I just got done arguing with my neighbors. You know what
This
I'm
isn't
saying?
gonna-
Like that's what
this. I don't think this is going to stop, especially
yeah,
with
it's not.
Yeah, especially with all of the YouTube channels or Spotify podcast, all the podcasts that we have allowed into our lives. they're always going to have opinions and telling us who's doing what right and who's. So it's either turn it off or
I
you
don't listen
obviously
to 'em.
continue
I don't listen
to
to 'em.
follow it.
No, I don't listen
Really?
to them. No, I only listen to podcasts that have like entertainment things that I want to hear about. Like I listen to video
Yeah,
game
I don't really
podcasts,
listen to
I
anything
listen to
political.
wrestling podcasts. I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I don't listen to any of those people. I don't care what you think. I don't care
See,
who
I
you
like
have
the
on or what those
conversations.
people think. So I
Yeah.
just I don't listen to it.
Yeah. I think I love hearing people talk.
I feel like it's driving you
just-
crazy.
Really?
I really think you might be. I literally think there's gonna be a time you snap from hearing so many people's opinions.
I don't. I think it's all this. Like to me, I just kind of hear all the same stuff, and I just kind of take it in, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, sometimes, I have had times where I just turn it off.
you
and I'm
have
just like, okay,
moments
it's too
where
much.
where I'm like, this dude's really about to break something.
Well, it's hard too because we're always doing it through text. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
get out a full comment. With like we do on this.
Well,
I guess.
inflection and
Yeah.
all that doesn't
Yeah.
really come across.
Yeah, and it's hard to hear somebody's tone too
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
through a text.
Yeah, and
Sure.
while you're also trying to buy a car.
Yeah.
yeah. Like answering replies. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah.
No,
What'd he say?
Keep texting. Shut your mouth.
Right.
That
Talk to
car's
me.
still going good for you, Blake?
Hey, baby, we got it. It's still good. It's still good. It's in the driveway. We haven't made any other
Haven't
decisions.
returned it yet.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So
We're-
so is there still a chance for Trump to win? Like he doesn't get Nevada and gets everything else, he
Eh,
can still win, right?
no.
If
no.
he doesn't get Nevada, he's done.
Yeah, he's been behind in Nevada since the beginning.
But I just
Right.
watched something said there's still 600,000 votes that need to be counted.
So
yeah,
Nevada.
they only have like 75% of their vote. I'm like, how are they counting their votes? Like they've only counted 75% of them, and there's not many of you there. Like,
yeah. Like, can we get some more?
There's a lot of
Is
volunteers?
it because they're
military,
on a
though, in
different
there.
time?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, why is this still going
are
on?
you guys using a
Like, what-
chalkboard?
like-
What?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It was like I asked Richard
One,
earlier. It's
two,
like,
three. What's next?
right.
I lost
Like I was
count.
asking, like at a certain point, something that's so important, like everybody has to have a deadline at this time. Like, why are we waiting on votes? Why are this people?
Why
these
is one
people only
state
turning
different than the
60?
next?
Well,
Yeah, like-
and I think that's what the Trump supporters are saying is that, hey, the election was yesterday. Like, let's cut it off. So whatever's not counted today doesn't count. But I
Oh,
don't
no,
know.
Well,
you
his
can't do
his
that.
lawyers they already got something in that said, I guess Pennsylvania changed their their voting stuff, and but it wasn't done by like the
Legislation.
House.
It has to be done by
the
legislation.
legislative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they've already got people on the Supreme Court that say that they're going to support that because they changed it so that if it gets there by Friday, so he's trying to disallow, basically get any vote after, Tuesday to be disallowed.
So
I kind of,
So-
I kind of in agreement with that a little bit. It's too much confusion. Like,
Yeah,
so
they're
we
gonna
got to
have
wait
some
on these votes for Friday for something that happened Tuesday.
But Pennsylvania
You know?
doesn't even
This-
matter in the end. Like, Pennsylvania's not even going to matter. If
Yeah,
Trump wins
I agree.
Nevada, then
I agree,
Pennsylvania
but
can
if
go eat it.
But if he ends up some kind of miraculous way catching up, like,
Mhm.
and then it really matters.
Then it does. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So
But-
Dude,
it's
I'm
kind of
telling
screwy
you,
and all this.
this
Like
ain't
none of
over.
this is
This-
uniform.
Oh, it's not no way over.
dude, 2021, we're still going to be talking about this.
I know. He's not
Guarantee
gonna
it.
leave, man.
Trump's going to make sure he's going to make sure he sees every single vote. He is not taking this L to this dude.
He's
Hey,
he's
but
changing the locks
isn't the
right now.
inauguration going to be must see TV if he loses?
I think they should just put him in an octagon and see what happens.
Oh,
Whoever comes.
Trump. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I feel bad
Dude,
for us.
imagine.
I could see it right now though, Jared. To your point, like this whole crowd on the side, just whoever gets in, just protesting, like it's gonna be
The-
just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we've got crazy Trump flag wavers, 37 flags on your boat and your truck, people, and then you've got Antifa and crazy people on the other side, with the Dems that
It's the people that
It's
don't,
like-
don't
it's
know
just
how to
like- I mean-
behave. It's the people that just don't know how to freaking behave.
Yeah,
what
it really
is.
is. And I would like to know how many of those people are there, right? Because we always see it, but of course we
There's a
see
lot.
it.
I feel
because
like there's a
of
lot
videos.
more than I've ever seen in my life, though. Like,
But
I don't
how many?
understand how a person gets that deep into politics because I mean, to me, honestly, everybody that is a lifetime politician has something to do with some kind of correctness. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't understand how you get this deep into politics and like actually believe these people. They've had to lie to people. They've had to stiff people. You know what I'm saying? Like they've done something wrong. So it's just like me fantasizing over Trump or Biden as this like being, as you know what I'm saying? It's like
This
I know
perfect
you done
human
some dirt.
being.
You got there some kind of way. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So,
I mean, it's a good point. Yeah.
It's crazy how people get that deep and locked into it. Like, because I know that they're never going to say on TV, Kevin, thanks for supporting me. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you're never going to say that. At the end of the day, a lot of people's lives are not going to change from this.
No,
You
that's
know?
why.
That's
That's
what I
why it
always
doesn't
say.
matter. That's why I said I really
Right.
don't. Whoever wins wins.
We are
Well, and
never,
like you said,
nobody's ever going to be happy 100% with who we pick.
well, and like you said in the text, it's like the Senate or the House is still controlled by the Republicans. So to get any bill that he wants to get passed through is already that's why this system works.
Yeah,
You know?
and you
So-
have that balance right there. You got the cross checks and balances right there.
Yeah. Well,
And the thing, and the other thing it comes down to is that we focus so much on the negative, right?
Yeah,
like
we
just
do.
think, because it's what we hear. We hear like we just. I mean, yeah. But it's every election. It's literally every election. It's like if one person gets in, or if the other person gets in,
Yeah.
the world's going to collapse.
yeah, I mean, we've seen that a lot with when Obama got in. It was people all of a sudden became scared of Muslims. Like, they wanted
Yeah.
to see his proof of birth. They wanted to, he was a Muslim and all this. And then when Trump was going to come in, it was, we were going to go to war with Korea and this and that. And then, it's just, it's always somebody on one side saying something crazy that just isn't in any way, shape, or form true.
Right.
I mean, when this morning stocks jumped, even when Biden took over, like stocks still jumped like 600 points this morning immediately. So where's this crash that was going to happen if Biden won? It's not happening. So it's just people aren't being honest.
Do you think he's going to shut down shut us down again?
No.
That's what I got my haircut today, and that's what the barbers were saying. They're
No.
like, dude, if he
No.
shuts us down again,
No.
we're not going to
The
survive.
only thing he said he's going to do is have a federal mask mandate. That's the only thing he said he's going to do. He's just like, we just need to have the right protections.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I swear that I've heard that all week, like the last 4 or 5 days. That's what everybody's saying, and it's like I feel like people are just putting that in the air.
See, and,
you know what I'm saying?
and that's what we all go off
But
of.
it's either we're irregardless we're gonna shut down, or it's just people are saying that just as a a scare tactic. And
I think it's more the latter.
I agree with the. Yeah, I agree with the mask mandate though. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
we gotta do something.
he's flat out said the only thing he's going to do is try to put mandates of protection in. He said he has no interest in shutting down the economy again. So, I mean, what more do you want to hear?
Right.
So, I don't know. People are just
Yeah.
making shit up so that people vote the way they want to vote is what's going on.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. It's a mess, man. It's
Hey,
gonna be
did
really
anybody
interesting
else
to
see
what
the
happens.
Trump train this weekend?
The what?
The Trump
What?
the Trump train? The
Around 465.
Yeah.
yeah, the trucks, dude, they were it was I was out and about getting food, and I was like, man, holy shit, what's going on? Just like exactly what you think it was, like just big giant dually trucks with flags and just gun
How many
racks
were
on the
there?
back of the trucks and just like big bearded dudes just driving around 465 blocking traffic. I'm like, dude, this is what's going on?
Came straight from Martinsville,
Dude,
bro.
they came straight from
Ah,
Martinsville.
Yeah, that's the American folk
It
right
was
there.
so amusing to watch. The thing
Murder.
was, they were completely harmless. Like they were just driving.
Yeah.
But then you go on Facebook and people are freaking out. I heard on Facebook about it. And it's like, dude, they're just driving
Yeah.
around. Like they're not doing anything. Like
Well, I did see that
They're just
Biden's
burning up their gas.
Biden's bus got locked down by some Trump supporters in Texas.
they
right?
said they were honking their horns at him and they called 911 because of it. Calm down. Like you are
I know.
okay. You're in that big armored bus. Shut up.
Right.
Like
Right.
you'll be all right. Don't let them scare you.
Everyone's losing their minds, bro.
They are, man. It's
I don't
It's
know.
such a
At least it's past us for now.
dude.
for
I
now,
think-
but
At
the
least the
sad
vote
thing is,
and the
Yeah.
ads and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
no, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
sad thing is, all these businesses have to worry about idiots that can't control themselves. Like they're boarding up their stuff
Yeah.
because they can't take another L. I mean, most of
Yeah.
these businesses went through this with the riots and the protests earlier. Like they just can't handle it anymore.
And
you know?
people say it's
and-
okay because they have insurance.
It's
like,
not. Yeah, it's
you don't
not,
have you
man.
don't have
Like,
riders insurance. Like so that's a whole another policy.
right. That's
But
one of
that-
those.
like,
we put that in flood
that-
insurance.
That's something that I can't even, I don't even understand how like we even allow that to happen, the riots. Like, I mean, I feel like all enforcements should prevent that. I mean, that's no different than someone doing that to someone's house. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
their business. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
totally
get how
agree.
that's going on.
And I don't think it always starts that way. It's always that one person, that couple people that want to go and do harm or just steal. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
just
they
it
run
just
it for
feeds
everybody.
everybody.
Just take
up.
advantage.
yeah. Like I remember when they showed all like the Black Lives Matter ones, and it'd be like a white person.
It was
there
all white
busting out
people.
windows, stealing some, baseball caps, dude. And like these people are recording. They're like, "Hey, he is not with us." So it's just
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's always those people that are out there just want to do harm. They're up to no
I
good.
don't know.
And that's what makes you wonder about these kind of things, right? With your comment about, well, it was all the white people, it was white people that were doing it, and it's like,
Right.
well, okay, and then you start hearing comments about people were setting up water stations and doing all this, and I'm like, who's organizing all this?
Yeah.
Right. But
That-
there are like professional, like I used to see it in ads. Like there's professional protest teams, dude.
Yep.
Ugh.
Like there's professional people that just want to protest stuff.
Yeah, it's just,
Hey, we having this rally over here.
yeah. I don't know, man. Like I was telling my buddy last week, man, I just want to come home, play with my kids, and play Xbox. I don't even care. Like I'm like, you guys do what you want. Like I'm too busy raising my kids and trying to do the right
Right,
thing.
yeah.
And I just don't understand how people have the energy.
Right.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah. for
Yeah.
real.
I feel you on that. Like people have this much time and energy just to obsess over stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's like we don't even know if we're gonna be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I've always been raised like that. Like
Yeah.
so why should I worry about something that I have no control over?
That's funny. 'Cause that's
Right?
something I always try to
Like-
tell my
like even-
kids. I always tell my kids, like,
Right.
you don't, it's so petty. Like, yeah, I mean, try to teach them how to talk to each other. My kids, like, your brother and sister, like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't want this to be your last moment, but they, it's just so stupid. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
It's gross.
So yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much still gonna call a Biden victory. I don't think, I don't think Trump has enough to pull it out in the end. Even with all the recounts, they said there were some statistics I read. There have been 30 recounts. None of them have ever changed.
So far?
No, 30 recounts in history
Or
There have been 30
see,
recounts.
because the last recount I remember is just the Al Gore one, like
Yeah, and that didn't change
where
the
I
outcome.
was actually paying attention to it.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
no recount in history has ever changed any outcome. So I don't, I think with Nevada being the last real state to worry about, I feel, and Biden's been in front of that state the whole time. I don't foresee it happening. So, and I guess Trump's team also was crying about Arizona, saying that it had already been decided on, but they said there was like, I don't know, 600,000 votes left or something, and Trump could get like 58% of those remaining votes, and that'd put him ahead, and that would flip the election, and it's just like, but now you look at the stats, and it's like, well, Biden's ahead by 1 million now, so you could take those 600,000 and shove it. So, so I just
He's gonna go out. He's gonna go out fighting.
He's gonna go out swinging.
He's up 1 million in Arizona.
Yeah, the last I checked, he was up by quite a bit.
Okay, I thought you said overall.
Oh no. Overall, I think he's ahead by like 3 million or something votes. Like they said that Biden has received the most presidential votes in history.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So we had a good. I mean, that's the plus in all this.
It's a good turnout.
We had a good turnout.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for the most part, we can't let the crazy people, deter us from the positives of this election. Like you said, there was a lot of turnout, a lot of involvement, a lot of people caring about what's going on, regardless of what the crazy people may say or do.
Yeah.
And also
during a pandemic, when you have a reason not to go out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Kevin said earlier, I just don't know how many people know. You know what I'm saying? It just became such a popularity.
Know what?
Or like know who.
The smear campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, it just became like, well, I'm voting against Trump, so I'm going to vote for Biden.
Well, that's what it is, right? You have two choices.
Right.
Right.
But
so you don't like Biden because you don't like Biden for some reason. So you're just like, well, I don't like Biden, so I'm going to vote for Trump. I don't like Trump, so I'm just going to vote for Biden.
Right. But that, like, I just felt like that's solely what it became. You know what I'm saying? Like
and that's what sucks is when people don't even dissect it. Like, because I can tell you some stuff about Biden that I don't like.
Right.
And
yeah.
I can tell you
same
some
way.
things about Trump that I do like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I'm not. Even if Biden wins, it's like I told somebody else, like, I'm not excited about Biden winning. Like, I don't care. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care who wins because I don't feel like it's really a winning situation regardless of who wins the race.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go. Black Lives Matter. You go.
Hey, but there's like people that like you ask them about, okay, name three things Biden is trying to do, with his policies, and they can't answer it. You know what I'm saying?
You know why? Because he never told us. Because he just kept telling us how bad Trump was. I mean, just
Right.
that was my whole point of it. Like we're all like, even I would get flustered, in different situations talking to people, and I'm just like, I don't even know why I'm flustered.
I can tell you three
Like,
things Biden wants to do. I mean,
what's that?
He wants the mask mandate. He wants to discuss
What's
a
that
new Green Deal.
Mask.
He wants to discuss a new Green Deal.
What's that? What's that new Green
It's
Deal?
it's the climate change, deal that we had with the rest of the world that Trump pulled out of.
Yeah.
Right, the Paris deal. You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, that's. Yeah. I mean, he talked about things he wants to do. But yeah, I mean,
that was two. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. I'm sure you got more. It's hard to do that. I mean, I couldn't say three good things about Trump either.
And third, he's going to help the first woman president become president.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's his three objectives.
Oh man, it's like he's so old too. Like, I mean, and in a way, you feel bad for old guys. Like, everyone rats on old guys. Obviously, there's a lot of wisdom that comes with an old guy too. The guy's seen a lot, but
it's so funny when he talks. It's just like he's just pointing right at you and just staring into your soul every time.
What was up with the other day when he called his granddaughter his son or something like that? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Was that legit? Like, I was like, did somebody?
Yeah,
This is our president. This is our president. We went from Trump to this guy.
I don't know. But then part of me was like, too, like there are times I rattle off four names before I hit my daughter's name. I'm like,
yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Try,
you.
yeah.
So like I can't blame them. Like, okay, well, you know, I do that all the
go-
time. Like, which one are you?
I'll go through the whole family tree before I hit one of them. It's
Yep,
like, sorry
yep.
guys.
Yep. Even my
Sorry.
son,
Sorry,
my son will
too
call
many of
me. My son will call me grandpa. Like, oh, I meant
Ooh.
dad. Like, all right, well,
It won't be long, I guess.
no, probably not.
You ever sit there? You calling your kids? You're like, hey, Amy's daughter, move this over here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Amy's daughter.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Is there really anything else going on in the world? I feel like I don't hear anything about football.
Oh
Of
man,
course,
I
I
got
don't really listen.
the new video game systems are coming out next week.
Are they?
I got both on pre-order coming.
Uh-oh.
Mandalorian.
Man, that sounds like your winter is booked.
Oh, dude, I'm good to go.
Mandalorian is good.
Yeah, Mandalorian started last week, so that's just me and Kevin. I don't think you two watched that.
No.
Good
My
though, man.
wife might get into it.
It's good. I'm telling you.
Yep. So I need to take my wife out to eat tomorrow. Where should I go? You guys got any good restaurants to go to?
What you on the south side? Let's see.
Yeah. We thought
I don't
about
know, is
Carrabba's.
she allergic? Is she allergic to
Bynum
anything?
Steakhouse.
Whoa, bro, who's paying? What's Diamond Steakhouse?
Oh,
Bynum.
No, Bynum's.
Bynum's.
Is that the
Oh,
one where they take the foil and fold it into like a duck or some shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Sounds
never
like a
been to
hotel.
Bynum's. I've always heard good things about it though.
Oh, so good.
I
It's
think
really
I've heard,
good.
Where is it?
It's
Right
up
there
on
Troy and Meridian.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Wow, I haven't been there in years. Over
What-
there by the
what's-
movie theater?
Just north of 465 as you go past where you would turn in there, and then it's on the left hand side as you're
I
going
got you.
north. Yeah.
Jared, what's your average price on at Bynum's? Is that like the same?
I mean,
Elmo's
I
or
haven't
what?
been there in probably 6 or 8 years. Funny thing is, a memory popped up. I went there with my grandma like 10 years ago on Facebook. That's kind of why it's in my it's in my brain. But
Yeah.
it's usually a pretty. I mean, it's not super. It's not like Ruth Chris expensive, but it's decent. I
Hey,
mean,
My wife,
$60-$80
Yeah,
for
you
you
dropped
and your
$90.
wife.
Yeah.
my wife and I went to Smoky Bones the other day with Everly.
Oh, that's a good place.
$70.
Mhm.
I go,
Yeah.
what? Now, granted, we both got a meal that was $20, but that's every meal was 15 or 20. So it's like, I just looked at her. I was like, that's $70. Just
And the food's not even
Gone.
So
that
is
good.
this for makeup for your anniversary?
uh,
Because you didn't go Tuesday night?
no, we're going. So my two older daughters went to Grammys this week, so we've just had Everly. So whenever they leave, we just wild out. We're just
Right.
we're eating out. Like we don't have to run them to practice. Like we're just we
You can
just
stay up
kinda
late.
yeah,
You
exactly.
don't have to fold clothes.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that's why I lit a fire earlier. So yeah,
Very nice.
it's a nice little break. Speaking of, she just opened up the garage door.
Nice.
So anyways,
Did you guys see like out to eat like charging you more just because they don't have as much seating anymore? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're trying to hike up prices $1 here or $2 just to cover the people that aren't getting.
Oh, they are. I mean,
Yeah.
I think so. My wife and I we usually go to Lincoln Square, the
I love
breakfast
that place.
restaurant. Dude,
Thank
their
you.
side
Yep.
of bacon went from $2 to $5. And I was like,
Bacon
I
is-
could buy a whole pack of bacon for $5. I'll just fry it up for you. I'm not.
Right.
there are certain items, and that's one of them. Bacon's the same amount of money as a side salad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, I just noticed that last time we went to On the Border, like it was just me, wife, and the kid, and it was like $65. I'm like, when was the last time I spent $65 here? Like, where's this money coming from?
Dude, that's a nice new hoodie or something, man.
Right.
That's how I view it.
Right.
Well, that and like a lot of these places have like limited menu. Like I went to Top Golf today, and like they used to have like almost like a Cheesecake Factory where it was like 4, 5, 6 pages of food, and now they're down to they're literally down to one page.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like basic stuff.
They probably have
Yeah,
to. It's probably just the best. Probably be able to save money, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it cuts down on their food costs, definitely. When you don't have to carry as many products and those products aren't going wasted or possibly wasted, then
Right.
yeah, that definitely is going to,
Right.
help when the, so.
What up, Donika?
I have noticed that a few places.
Kevin said that, Donika. Hold on, let me take you off my phone. She said, "No, I'm fine."
Oh,
The dog will
What'd you
hi
say?
to the dog.
Oh, here's Hoosier. Say hi, Hoosier. She gets all jealous.
Who's on your shirt, Blake?
Dog.
Johnny Cash.
Okay.
I have a. It's like his mugshot. And I have a Elvis Presley one as well. So I don't know, for some reason I like mugshot pictures of musicians. But yeah.
is that from when he played in the prison?
What's that?
Is that from when he played in the prison?
Oh yeah, I bet that is what that's from. That's a good album.
Folsom.
Yep. Yeah, I like Johnny Cash from time to time.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash. Man, your
love
dog
that.
has the worst name ever.
My dog? Bro, step back. You don't want this smoke, dude.
I wonder if there's a dog named Boilermaker.
Of course.
Oh, I guarantee there is.
Yeah.
This is a
Guaranteed.
rival dog called Boilermaker.
Boiler up
awesome,
or
man.
something. Yeah, man. I had a. It's the only thing I had to say in around here. I said we can get a dog, but I'm naming it Hoosier. So
Fair.
there we go.
It's like
All right. Looks like
It's like you
Blake's
named
getting
the cat
anxious to
Anderson
get out of
Silva.
here. So, you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Cut it out.
I start my new job next week, so I'll let you guys know how it goes.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Into the
Nice.
office.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You
Thanks,
excited or nervous?
I'm excited. I think I'll be good.
Got to make new work friends.
Yeah. Gotta do that.
Right?
Gotta do that all over again.
He's gotta make new people cry.
You've been talking to Andy, huh?
I just saw Rich